Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Intern Top 5. I am your host, Clarissa, and today I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Sean
and Xavier,
and our guest hosts,
Sheldon.
Drora.
Andra, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Drora Shub, and I'm currently a project manager at Explora and previously the manager of the volunteer program.
You want to give a fun fact about yourself?
Okay, let me think. I'm very fond of crosswords. Stop it.
No, that's good.
Stop
I
it, all
didn't know
of you.
that.
Oh,
That's
cool.
I'm
Really
excited
cool.
about that.
I'm really
Okay.
good at crosswords.
We'll talk more. Those who had a positive reaction will talk more.
Not Xavier.
No,
Not Xavier.
People, I have a very hard
so bad at
time
them.
concentrating, and so someone told me that like doing crosswords helps you focus on one word and like just focus on that one word and find that one only. That'll help you.
Yeah. Maybe.
I've done that too.
I want to
Maybe.
start.
You should start. There's an app.
Yeah.
Oh, you use the app?
Yeah,
Oh, there's a
well,
lot of apps.
I get them online, yeah. I also have my favorites before online. I'll just tell you that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Later.
So, Intern Top 5 is where the interns at Explora discuss our 5 favorite things in several different categories. And today we're going to be talking about our 5 favorite places that we have visited outside of New Mexico. Who wants to go ahead and kick it off?
I could start.
All right.
I'll start this time. My number 5 is Texas, specifically Amarillo. I go there a lot for family. I have a lot of family that lives there. My whole mom's side lives in Texas, and so I frequent there. I was there a couple weeks ago actually, and that was pretty chill. It's so hot though.
Oh, I bet.
Everywhere's
gosh.
hot right now.
Dude,
It's
it's
so
record-breaking
hot.
heat.
It's and Texas is a little more humid than New Mexico, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, swampy
And so
air.
it's hot, but you know,
It's a different kind of hot.
Well, wet, hot.
Yeah.
It's like sticky.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like if it's humid, it's like sticky.
it's wet.
Come
yeah.
out of the shower, dry off, still wet.
Yeah.
Yep.
You,
Oh, that's the
don't
worst.
use, you don't use as much lotion.
Yeah, no.
Which is nice.
True.
Yeah.
Because it'll gum up. You can't be
Exactly.
You put it on your skin and
I
it
made
like,
that mistake. and
Yeah,
it's awful.
Yeah.
But sunscreen.
You got to.
You got
That's
to.
You
it.
have
Yeah.
to.
But you need like a thin application.
Yeah.
Or like
Or
a
spray.
umbrella.
Yeah.
Someone decided
Use
it all.
umbrellas, yeah.
Yeah,
you
sun
can-
umbrella.
Yeah.
A sunbrella.
Maybe umbrella
Sun
hat.
umbrella. Oh yeah, those are fun.
A what?
I feel
Umbrella
like
hat.
I
I
feel like an umbrella hat would
Probably
only
could.
be acceptable if it has a propeller on the top
Yes.
and it's rainbow colored.
But then but then that's a propeller hat.
Yeah.
That's a
No, but it's
completely
got to be a
different subset
propeller
of hat.
plus
Oh, you're right.
Umbrella.
umbrella
He's
hat.
right. Sorry, but he's right.
That's a little too late.
That's gonna fling water everywhere when it rains. I don't know about that. No. Anyway,
What?
you want to
My number 5 is Colorado because it's like right there, so it's not like super far. I went. I've been camping there a while. It's like on the border of like Chama and in Colorado, so I consider it Colorado because it's the Rocky Mountains. I go camping there sometimes for church. It's been really fun. I love it out there, man. We went on a 4-hour hike once into like the mountains, and like we saw like cattle and these giant like aspen trees. It was like unreal. It was
What's-
unreal.
What's the longest you've ever been camping?
Longest like matter of days.
Yeah.
Like 4 days, 5 days. Not very long.
Yeah.
I just don't have that time anymore.
Oh,
As a
yeah.
kid, it was like summer, like, oh, I have nothing to do now. It's like work and
I know.
So young.
growing up.
No, it's not. It's good. It's good.
And then it's it
Yeah, me too.
only gets worse when you're older.
Worse?
It's all downhill from here.
Worse it is.
Worse.
Like no camping, you don't know what that is anymore.
What's an outdoors?
What's an outdoor?
I've never been camping though.
Really? Like as a
Is that
kid,
right? Really?
Yeah.
little trips with your school or something?
Sleeping in a tent? Don't know what a tent is?
I know what it is.
Do you know what a fire is?
I'm an REI member, okay?
Why?
You're an REI
Are you
member?
an
I go on
REI
hikes, I
member?
go outside, I ride my
Okay.
bike, you know, I
you
do
just-
other things.
Why don't you like go
Backpacking.
backpacking?
Yeah.
Like if you like to hike, you could like hike it up and then.
But then it's like,
Sleep.
Yeah.
why would I
Nature.
sleep on a rock when I can sleep in a bed?
No,
You
you're,
know?
but you're
You
sleeping.
don't,
That's the
though.
point.
Yeah, sleep in a sleeping bag.
You sleep in a sleeping
That's
bag
not a
and you
bed
like.
though.
Yeah, but you like pad
a-
your ground so it's
yeah.
not like. really, really hard to sleep
Like
on.
fine grass.
You get to listen to the crickets.
The water,
It's
if
nice.
you're next to a creek. That's
Yeah.
I
awesome.
can like
Sleeping
ask
to that.
Alexa to play cricket sounds.
You
It's,
could-
like,
Aye.
insane.
You're living in
Okay, but you hang out
Hold on,
outside
the
at
door's over
night.
there. Like,
He's doing it to,
I know,
now
yeah,
he's doing it to
I,
you.
because I have tried to go camping. People are like, "Oh, we're gonna take you camping." They plan out this whole thing, but then it gets like too big and it never happens because they want it to be like a good first. Because I'm like in too deep now.
Right.
So what do you think of camping in the metaverse?
What?
What?
Oh, and like and in an Oculus.
Yeah.
That's not camping.
That sounds like something you would say. Like, why not do it at home?
No. Okay. All right. Okay. I was just laying it on
that
thick.
way you could camp in your bed because apparently you laying on a rock is not ideal.
I was exaggerating.
Earth is a rock.
I
So
was exaggerating.
Earth is
He went deeper. He went deeper.
yeah, rock goes really deep.
I really dug myself into a hole here.
You did.
yeah.
All
It's
in
a
all,
rocky hole.
I do want to go camping. Even like one of my dream cars is a, oh my god, a Volkswagen Westfalia.
Well, what?
A Westfalia? It's
The
like
van?
One of the van with like the stove and the
God. Yeah.
thing, and you have like a little bed up top. Go
that's
up
Oh
on
my
it.
still-
God.
Wow, where are you
I
gonna
don't think
find
it's-
that?
Well, I think they're actually making an electric one. That could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. But I want to get one and go. You can buy an old one, you know.
yeah.
No, it'd be really expensive.
But my number 5.
Yeah.
I've just been talking about other things for so long. I'm sorry, I felt under the gun. My number 5 places I've been, I put Seattle. Seattle in general. I was only there for like 3 days, but my dad was doing some work with Kirkland, like the Costco Kirkland, and so they were like super cheap. And it was I landed on Halloween, and I just like we were in Bellevue actually, but I took like the bus an hour into Seattle and just like walked around.
I
Went to
have a
Pike's
friend that
Place.
lives there.
Really?
In Bellevue.
Yeah, and it's because I think there's a school there. Is that where Western Washington University?
Could be. It's a big. It's big. It's
Yeah.
you know.
But
CTAC, yeah.
yeah, but I really like Seattle. I'm a big fan of the Pacific Northwest.
I'm with you on
Even,
that.
but I've only been once. But it was really nice.
It's humid over there too.
But not as hot though.
Yeah.
But it's just like a nice, moist air.
Okay.
You know?
Humid. Isn't that what humid is? Is that the air is too moist?
Yeah, actually.
He just says no and describes it.
I
like-
was saying it's like
it's
I was
not
just saying
hot.
it's
Oh, it feels
bad.
better.
Yeah.
It's
'cause
not the hot humid. It's not
Oh, like the nice like after rain humid.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Oh, okay, that's sick.
the hot.
That's
Without
what's
that great scent. You
That's
know that.
cool.
You know
smell
the
that-
petrichor?
Oh, petrichor! He gets extra points for getting
'Cause
the
I did the
word in.
crossword.
He did a crossword. He gets extra point. Petrichor is the smell, like especially in New Mexico or Arizona where it's really dry. When it just rains a little and you come outside and there's that smell, almost piney, sagey. That's okay. Yeah, right.
What
You probably don't even notice it
I'll
because it's
sometimes spill water on the floor, and then I'm like, it smells like rain, but that's just the dirt, the wet dirt.
just right. It's,
It's
yeah, it's
weird.
wet, but it's
Okay.
whatever the smell is in your area after rain. That's petrichor.
Well, like plants release a chemical when they get like
Yeah.
thoroughly watered after like
Right.
being dry for a long time, and like that's what contributes to that smell.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Very
neither.
cool. Very cool. Well, look at all this in there. All right, should I do mine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mine is close to yours in a way, because mine is also the Pacific Northwest. I think it was Portland, Oregon, or the Oregon coast. And the reason I liked it was because I had never seen a rocky coast, you know, where it's not, and there were tide pools there, which I had never seen, and are this like little environment in a little almost puddle sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed. So that was pretty cool.
I've seen those on Wild Kratts.
Oh, stop, dude, not to say
Wild crats. Go, go,
You remember Zaboomafoo?
wild.
I don't. What is it? I'm sorry. Just tell me what it is.
See,
Maybe
I remember wild krats.
Well, because Wild Kratts
Yeah.
came after Zaboom. You don't remember Zaboomafoo?
Zaboomafoo was with the Wild Kratts people, right?
Yeah, and then they
But it
like
was
I remember
live
Wild
action.
Kratts
the
'cause
Wild Kratts people. Oh man,
Sorry, the
That went over my
Zaboomafoo
head.
people.
Yeah, they're
Krat
the brothers.
brothers.
Sorry, yeah.
Wild Kratts people.
Sorry, the Krat
But
brothers.
either way,
I know. Martin and Chris.
Either way, it's these two brothers, Martin and Chris, and there was like a lemur, Zaboomafoo, and he would teach you about animals.
oh,
It was a kid show
yeah.
from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Live action.
Yeah.
The lemur
Yeah.
was a puppet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there was like a real lemur they would have like
Yeah,
jump
there-
in and
there
then
was
they'd,
a
like,
real lemur.
swap it out.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
My number 5 is also Texas. The only times I've ever been to Texas is to visit family, or one time I went to El Paso for a Comic-Con. But the place like specifically that I'm talking about is called Ham Orchards. I don't remember what city it's in. I got absolutely nothing for you. But it is my favorite place to be when I'm in Texas because it's a little like organic, homegrown little like orchard. And so they have a whole bunch of like cherry trees and apple trees and different things. And you can like see the orchard when you drive in. And they have a little store that they make like fresh ice cream and jams and jellies. And it was the first time I had ever tried apple butter. Apple
Oh,
butter's
yeah.
amazing.
That
delicious.
slaps.
Yeah.
So like I have like really,
It's not butter.
it's not apple flavored butter.
I know what apple butter is.
You
It's
know
like a jelly, but made out of
It's-
apple.
Well, it's more like
it feels like basically
a little
applesauce.
applesauce, a
Applesauce,
little.
but yeah.
I know. I have it in my house. It's terrible.
Applesauce
Okay.
spread.
No, I'm just kidding.
But that was like, that's a very like fond memory for me. And my uncle, who has now since passed away, but we went to visit him and we were able to like take him there and he was like, I want to go to this place. And so we took him and we got ice cream with him. And
Yeah, sometimes your favorite places aren't the place so much, but the experience.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know that's obvious, but that really hits it a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's like I think how I got a lot of my top 5
Yeah.
too. with
Yeah.
memories.
Yeah. Not so spectacular, but just how you felt
Yeah.
when you were there. Yeah.
My number 4 is Colorado. I went to Colorado. I've gone a couple times actually, and the first time was with my mom and brother because my mom had a business trip there, and so they paid for hotel and stuff, and so she brought us along, and we went around the city and all that. And the second time, more recently, we went to see the Great Sand Dunes. They're like the biggest sand dunes in America, and they're just kind of big piles of sand.
That
Interesting.
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, which they're pretty cool, and you can buy sleds and stuff and slide down them, kind of like at White Sands.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're bigger than White Sands?
Oh, they're huge. Yeah,
Oh.
White Sands. Those are like hills. Like,
Right.
it
But
was-
they're white. That's pretty weird. The
Yeah.
weird thing about whites, yeah.
Yeah,
Where
but-
is it in Colorado? Do you know? Is it north of, like, far up a little bit?
no, it's not too
Okay.
far up actually.
Okay. Look it
It's
up.
kind of to the westish
Okay.
side of Colorado. But when I went, we paid $40-$60 for these sleds, right? We go there, and it's super windy.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Luckily, my brother, it was kind of windy when we went to White Sands, so he brings goggles all the time now.
Oh yeah,
So
your
he-
ski goggles in your car?
that's why.
the reason?
That's why I bought ski
Okay.
goggles actually. But he brought swimming goggles, and so we had swimming goggles, so we could see. So the sand wasn't getting in our eyes, but it was still pelting us on like everywhere
The
else.
sand benders.
See, I would have felt like you needed like a bandana for your,
Yeah, your mouth.
you know?
Nose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just keep your mouth
Just
closed.
claw-
Just keep your
dirt.
mouth closed.
I don't know. I feel like that
Ears?
might be a challenge for Xavier.
Right to it.
I didn't think
right
we were
to
getting
it.
personal like that.
Right to it.
Whatever. God.
Okay.
Uncalled.
Whoa.
No, but yeah, no, it was real windy and just not a great time to go.
Did you have fun anyway, though? Or was it just kind of a.
It was cool. We tried to eat. That didn't work. We had sandwiches.
They were sandwiches.
Oh yeah, they were. They were crunchy.
Saved
for
that,
sure.
but you know you saved that. You didn't really have sandwiches.
No, we did
No,
actually. Yeah,
What?
they were like tuna sandwiches or something. Yeah, they were cool.
Crunchier than usual.
Right.
They were very crunchy. But then we would go up, and it was also hot. It was really hot
So you're
and really
sweating
windy.
And the sand is sticking to your face.
No, we weren't sweating, but the sand was hot.
Oh.
So we were burning our
Oh,
feet.
yeah.
Yeah. Because we couldn't wear shoes because they would be full of sand. Yeah, it was a cool experience. I wouldn't repeat it though.
One and done. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe in the future if it's less windy, but like it wasn't supposed to be windy that day. So that's a shame.
Isn't it weird how sand actually hurts when it's blowing? I mean, that's
hurts
yeah,
a lot.
It actually hurts, and I think that's weird because it's
Yeah. And then you go home and wash it off, and the sand comes like it's a layer. It's gross.
it's gross. Yeah,
It's on the bottom of your backpack too. It's like still in your shoes that were in a bag.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate sand.
Gosh,
Sand.
like Darth Vader.
Does Darth Vader hate sand?
Anakin Skywalker hates sand. Anyway, Sean.
Well, mine's not sandy. Kansas City was like Missouri, mostly Missouri area, and it's just so green. It's like the opposite of sand. Really, it's awesome. It was like
This
vibrant.
Really nice architecture. Like a lot of like brick buildings too. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an Airbnb there, and that house was so cool.
Yeah.
It was like awesome. Like in the backyard was like a jungle. Like the weeds were like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
The weeds like look like little bushes and trees because they just if you let it overgrow,
Yeah.
they're huge.
Oh, yeah, my sophomore year in college, I took the Amtrak from here to Kansas City, Missouri, and I got there like 6 a.m., but I like fell asleep, and it was still like just dirt out the window, and I remember waking up, and it's just like trees everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So, very green.
I love it.
Same vibe.
And it's like kind of humid, but it's not that hot humid.
I guess it might, I feel like it might
It's
get,
pretty
yeah,
humid.
Missouri gets pretty gross.
Missouri
but, yeah,
is really.
I went,
you
I,
might,
yeah, I
you
went
might
in
not have been there
October.
during the it's hot
It was
and
nice,
humid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go for?
It was my grandparents' 60th anniversary for being married.
Wow.
Nice.
And so like we went swimming and stuff. It was interesting because that was the first time I went swimming in a saltwater pool.
Oh,
Yeah. And it like seemed different, but I couldn't tell until like, oh man, this water tastes funny.
You like open your
Why
eyes.
are you eating the water?
Yeah, you can actually do that without
can
it
open
burning.
In salt?
It's salt water.
Yeah,
It's
your
just like
tears,
tears
are salty. Your natural IPH is salty.
That just
So
seems
if
like
you
a-
ever cry,
Chlorine
you have
will hurt.
salt, like you'll have salt, like
Yeah.
salt stains on your face if you don't wipe away your tears.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's
salty.
what Krusty's are.
I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining ocean salt water and how it's all sand too, and like that'll get in.
There's no sand in it
Yeah.
because it's a pool.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
It was awesome. We played this game where like it's like rugby, but in the water and with a watermelon full of Vaseline. And so like you have to like get like
Okay,
Hold on.
I need you to back up. Did you just tell me you filled a watermelon with Vaseline?
no rubbed like on it.
Oh, that's better.
Okay, you said filled, and I was
Oh, I did.
confused.
Like full of like
Yes,
It's all
you-
over.
Covered in.
covered in.
Covered in.
Covered on.
Like-
of. No,
Covered
covered
of?
in. Yeah. Full
It
of.
was awesome. So,
means,
like-
like filled.
there was like two like sides, and like your goal is to like teams like get the watermelon to the goal, but like you can like, fight underwater, like it'll slip out. It was awesome.
Do watermelons float?
Yeah, they're buoyant because they're in the inside. There's
It's
so much
giving
air.
like water polo, but
Watermelon polo.
Watermelon polo. It was awesome.
Wow.
That was an experience for sure. That place was just so pretty. The green. Oh.
Do you know how much
Can't get over
Vaseline
it.
that would take to fill a watermelon?
I know that's why I was so confused.
I was like, do you like?
And I was thinking like,
cut a
I was
hole
like,
and
how do
then
you get?
scoop it
Yeah, I was
out
like,
and
how do you
then-
get that to?
And why?
And like,
Do you, like-
what's the purpose? What purpose is
Do you
that?
fill it and then like super glue the
So
part you
keeps
cut
the
off back
skin
together?
right.
The purpose of covering it is because it's more slippery.
No, that makes sense. But
If
you
you
said
fill,
filled
like-
with, and I was very
I said full of.
confused.
But okay.
Buoyant, I guess. I don't know.
It's already buoyant.
Exactly. Why did you need to fill it?
We were just trying to, yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
feel
anyway.
it.
It just it didn't make sense to me. Okay, I'm sorry.
Full of.
Number 4. Oh, is it my turn?
It is
It's
your
your
turn.
turn.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah, I was doing it for drawer, and then I realized it's me. Chicago. Chicago's my number 4, specifically the Shed Aquarium. Yeah, so I have a funny story, and if the Shed Aquarium people are watching this, I'm sorry. Because I had gone in because I saw like this giant, like beautiful building right at the edge of like Lake Michigan, and so me and my friend were like, oh, let's like go check it out because I was just there for Thanksgiving, and then she was there for living there for school. So we walked up, go up the stairs. We're so excited. We get in the doors, and we're like looking at ticket prices. Like $50, and I was like, well, I don't have $50 to buy a ticket. But then we were leaving, and we asked the security guard if we could go just like look in the gift shop before we left. And so we were like wandering around the gift shop, hopping around. There was like this one sign outside of the gift shop, so we were like, or we didn't know it was outside the gift shop, but it was like this one sign, so we were just kind of like continuing like this like little path along the wall, and then we realized like 5 minutes later that we're like inside the aquarium
You
because
snuck in.
the exit to the aquarium, to the aquarium is through the gift shop, and that's where you
Right.
leave.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
accidentally snuck in.
But wait, do you think it was $50 for both of you?
No,
was
it
a
was
piece?
like
Oh.
I was like 46 or something. like, per
that's-
Ticket
I
prices
would've
are pretty
guessed-
expensive.
I know,
But
but I would have guessed like 25,
It made
26.
perfect sense, Jorah. These fish were like healthier than me.
Yeah.
They had like perfect skin. They had big, clean water. They're like thriving and surviving.
It's because
swimming through.
their environment's so humid.
It's because is it humid in Chicago?
Oh, yeah.
It's very humid.
I-
What do you mean? It's
I've
on
only
the,
been in November.
Well, I just
yeah.
meant the
It's-
aquarium
The
itself
aquarium
is
underwater, yeah.
underwater
Yeah, he was making a little joke, Sheldon.
about fish. It's a fish joke.
Okay.
Fish joke.
Okay.
I have a fish tie actually.
You should have won the fish
I'm
time.
gonna wear that. One of these podcasts.
We'll edit it in post.
Yeah. No,
should've worn
don't
your
edit out
whale
my
tie this
Snoopy
time.
tie. But why?
You have a whale tie?
I do have a. It's like a little pink.
It's a pink tie,
tie
with
with
whales
little-
on it.
Whales.
Oh,
It's hard to tell
You
unless
should
you're
do
looking
top
it up
5
close.
Xavier ties.
I have so many ties.
I have 5 ties.
So far, my favorite one is the whale. Whale is
Snoopy
number one.
bowling.
Spoiler alert for everybody.
Okay.
I do like this one because of bowling.
Yeah, got little Snoopies. You can't really see it on the camera.
no.
But it's Snoopy, and he's bowling, and on the back it says strike.
Oh,
That's cute.
It's cute. Savers.
that's a good place to get it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They have great ties.
I'm sure.
Okay, I'm going to hop on yours about the aquarium because I have a little story about the aquarium in Chicago because I grew up in Chicago, and so
Just came back from Chicago.
I did, but that's beside the point. But I grew up there, but I left when I was 18, so it's been a while. But in any case, I went to this really great high school there that was like a school without walls. It was called Metro. Anyway, so we had our classes were around the city. So you use the city as your classroom. Anyway, it was a public
Interesting.
school. It was fantastic. Anyway, public school. And so I had marine biology at the aquarium. And it's taught by the people that work there. So, and it was, all of a sudden I was going to be a marine biologist. You know, I mean, it was so fascinating. And you got to go everywhere. I mean, because your class, it was all year. So you went there for your class. And it's been totally redone since then. So it's way better. Because it was really neat, but it was old. I think you'd have to look it up, but I think it's from the Century of Progress. I could be wrong, or right after, which would have been the early 19 whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
all those old museums there are old buildings. The aquarium may have been built later,
Wow.
but anyway. Pretty cool, but it was incredible, and I learned so much. And I didn't know anything, because unless you live on a coast, it's not always part
Yeah.
of your thing. But it was so incredible to me. Anyway,
Yeah.
that isn't one of my favorite places, though. I mean, it was. I could have added it, but I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to add my fourth is because it's our neighbor and because it is the Grand Canyon. So the Grand Canyon. I mean, I don't know if it's one of my favorite places, but it is so incredible. And sometimes, especially if you live near something, you forget how incredible it is.
It is great.
And it's beautiful. It is. Hence the name. It is grand. But I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's just a big thing in the thing, but it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Bigger than, I don't know. It's a vista, and that's all you see. And plus, it's very beautiful. And it's a really fun climb down, and and people come. Is it one of the 7 wonders though of the world?
Yes.
I think it might be.
Yeah,
I
I
could
think
be
so.
wrong. I'm not sure.
I think so.
I'm not sure for some reason, or maybe it's in the second list, but it's really one of those places.
I have no idea.
And so, which has always been my joke at Explore is that, all the comment cards, every person in the world writes awesome on it, awesome, spelled every way. I used to have to process those, so spelled every way in the world you can think of. And so every time I see that, I go, okay, in order to use that word, it has to fill you with awe. And so I'm going, the pyramids in Egypt, yes, Grand Canyon, yes, you can say awesome. But for everything else, no.
I mean, you don't.
I
For
don't
some people,
It's
Explorer could be
subjective.
the 7th wonder of the.
It's very,
one of the
very
7 wonders of
subjective. If
Albuquerque.
you haven't seen anything cooler, then that's the coolest thing you've seen.
It's like
I
Disneyland
know,
in
but don't
Albuquerque.
but don't you think awesome is a little overused?
No, I think you're just being a little cynical.
You do?
Yeah.
You do too?
I'm not going to answer that question. My number 4 is Durango, so it kind of seems like I'm stealing Xavier's list here. Totally unintentional. But my number 4 is Durango. We've been twice. One time I remember really, really well, and one time I remember kind of well, but not the best because I was pretty young, so I don't remember everything. But we stayed in a place that had like the Silverton Durango train that run right behind it, and it was like on the side of the forest, and we got to put some like coins out on the train track to like smush them. You know?
I've never done that before.
I love that.
And then that was the more recent time that we went that I remember was when I had first started getting into photography. And so I had just got a camera and I had taken it with us, and I got some really cool pictures of like the train coming, and then like you can't tell, but like the coins were right there and the train was coming and there was some elk. And so like I got to do that, and it was like the first time that I was starting to like experiment with like camera angles and like different things like that. So I think my favorite picture still, it's not like the best picture I've ever taken, but it's still one that I have like a really fond memory of. We were walking around in what I think was downtown Durango. I'm not really sure. There was like a bridge, you could cross the river, and then there were some like hiking trails on the other side. That's not very helpful, but I don't have a very great memory either because I was pretty young. But I looked up and the trees above me were just so gorgeous, and the light was like filtering through them. Looking back, maybe not the smartest decision, but nobody was coming, so I laid in the middle of the road to take the picture. Yeah.
The picture was good.
It was. It was a good picture.
Parents, I'm just asking.
Yeah. No, I was
not just
I was like a little
an
kid, and my
unaccompanied minor
parents
in the
were like, get out of the road, and I was like, hold on. You know.
Angles.
So I remember that pretty fondly. And then there's I don't know if it's maybe a youth center or a community center or what it is, but it's got like an indoor water park. And when I went the first time, I remember that being like a lot of fun. And it was like the first time that I had ever really learned how to play some of, like, they're not necessarily like tabletop games, but what you think of as like kind of more like arcade table games. So like air hockey, pool, foosball. And it was like, that was where I found that I was going to have like a lot of fun with those. Like my dad taught me to play. I'm still extremely horrible at ping pong. Can't play ping pong for the life of me.
Ping pong's hard.
But
I love ping pong.
everything else that I learned, I'm okay at. Yeah.
It's hard.
Ping pong's hard.
That little lightweight ball.
I am
that
very
ball.
competitive in air hockey. I'll let you think that you're going to win. I'll let you get like to match point, and then I'll just wreck you.
Let's go.
That's a
I used
challenge
to
I'm
play
willing to
it.
accept.
I used to play air hockey at the convention center a lot, and I was, I don't know, somewhere, but I was really good at air hockey, and then I stopped going, and now I'm really bad at air hockey, and it makes
See,
me
I
so
just-
sad.
It'll
I
come
let
back.
everybody
It'll come
play,
back.
and
It
I like
doesn't.
start, and I'm like, yeah, I just need a second to warm up, and then
you
I'll
do
let you
like the
get to
Drake
like,
and Josh hustle?
I'll let you get to like 6, and then I roll up my sleeves, pull back my hair, and I will wreck you. Yeah.
Okay, noted.
It's supposed to be fun, you know.
Oh, it is.
It is
For me.
It's very fun.
Okay.
scary.
Moderately.
My number 3, I'm switching my number 3 and number 2, but California.
The whole state?
I went to LA.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to LA for Anime Con, and that was really fun. I went with a friend and his parents, and we drove like 5 hours, 7 hours. I don't know how long drive to California is, but we drove there and we hung out on the coast, and then we went to this convention and mulled around the city a little bit, and it's just really grand, especially coming from New Mexico, where all the houses are tiny and short, and then going to a big city and like, wow. Yeah.
Sprawling. It's very sprawling there.
Yeah.
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 Define sprawling. Is it just like spread out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, their downtown is there, but pretty small overall, and it just spread. I mean, it's a lot of mileage going every direction.
Yeah, that's true.
The LA area.
But it's a very nice town. It was kind of foggy when I went, but it was kind of it was pretty cool. And then we went and saw the ocean. That was really nice.
It is on yours, yeah.
But
I've never seen the ocean yet.
you've never seen the ocean?
I haven't either, Sean.
Oh, you two, get it on
we
your
gotta
list.
take you to
Yeah,
the
get it on
land
your
I've never
list.
seen the
dwellers.
beach.
There's a list of things I want to go, but
Yeah.
like my
Well-
list of bin is so small.
That's okay.
Me too, Sean. Me too.
There'll be plenty. You'll
Yeah.
do more. You know, especially if it's on your list to do, you'll do it.
Yeah, this like in a week or so, I'll be driving to Orlando. So
There it
I'll be
is.
passing through a lot, but like only
Yeah.
staying in
Yeah.
Orlando.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're gonna make the commit, like to go an hour away from where we're supposed to go to the beach. I don't know
I
if
think,
they're
I think it's
gonna
worth
work
it.
It's worth
Yeah.
it. An
We're just like
hour.
on a time
All
limit,
right,
though.
all right.
If you do go to the beach, make sure you have a place to shower after.
That's good.
They don't have
That's a
showers
good
there?
tip.
At the they have like
Sometimes,
little
like the
things
pedestal,
to
yeah.
shoot you with water, but you don't have soap and
Can
stuff.
you just bring soap?
You're gonna soap up out in public.
I thought that's what you do in movies and like YouTube
that's
videos. That's
I guess.
You just soap up with your bathing suit still on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll have a hotel. So
Yeah, yeah.
I just do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you'll see. You should push to get an hour away. That's pretty close enough. I feel like. Oh,
That's
Throw
pretty
some,
close.
yeah, throw some towels in the car just in
yeah.
case.
Try
manifest
try.
it.
See if you
Yeah.
can.
The car of
You don't want to get
10
sand on
people.
all your seats.
Oh,
The towel's not gonna be enough space. You can put a towel on your lap.
it's gonna be hot. We're
You can use
driving
the
through
towel as a
Texas.
pillow.
We're
Yeah.
driving through Dallas.
be
We're
rough.
driving through. Just put it.
Use
all
a towel
that.
to dab your sweat.
Put it up on the windows. Don't block the blind spots, but like you could put it up on the windows to make like sunshades.
It'll be a van,
back
so
seat?
it's one big blind spot.
Yeah.
that's true.
Good point.
That's true.
It'll
Put
be
it on
awesome.
top. Strap it to the top of the car.
Oh yeah, but my number 3
Yes, right.
is Kansas. Not the first one was Kansas City, Missouri.
Missouri.
But this one was Kansas, like deeper in because of the Wizard of Oz, like road and that little place. That was pretty cool.
Yes.
I don't know. It was like literally called like Yellow Brick Road and Pancake.
Oh, that's cool.
Around the
Really?
corner, there had like they had a little playground. At first, like a little story that went with it. We were driving to Kansas City and we drove through that area and we stopped to eat lunch at this playground, and I was like, man, why does everything look so familiar? And I was like, oh, it's Wizard of Oz themed. And I was like, that's so cool. And they had like the figures and like they were like wooden characters. And I was like,
That's cool.
what in the world? Why is this here? And then I saw like a house next door. And I was like, that looks like the one in Wizard of Oz, like Dorothy's or
Did it have
something.
little like feet coming out from under it?
It didn't. It was just a normal little house. That was like, it was a normal house.
Yeah.
It was like empty inside though. But I was like, oh, I
didn't
connected
know
the
that.
two,
I
and then
didn't know that was there.
there was a gift shop,
I didn't
and there
know
was
that was
another
there. That's
house.
good, yeah.
And
That makes sense.
That's
They
awesome.
would capitalize on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they should, right?
It's Kansas.
What's the line from it? You are in Kansas because you. No, you're not in
Not
Kansas
Kansas anymore, yeah.
But you were in Kansas.
I was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
awesome.
That's great. Sheldon.
Me, also Los Angeles. is
Los
my number 3.
Angeles.
Wow.
But I said a specific location in Los Angeles. So, have you been to Huntington Gardens or the Huntington Library? Anyone?
No.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like basically like this giant outdoor
Yeah.
like botanical garden-esque thing with this like giant library in the center. I didn't even make it to the library because I just spent so much time like going through all
Totally
the different
forgot
like there's
about
like
it, yeah.
a desert zone with a bunch of like cacti. There's like a giant Japanese garden. There's a bamboo garden. One of the coolest places I've been to. Super cool. Like used up like 2 whole rolls of film just taking they were bad pictures. They looked good there. But bad pictures of plants. But yeah, super fun, and hopefully I'll get to go back and go to the library because apparently the library is really cool too. But definitely a good spot in
Yeah.
LA. And over LA as a whole, just really good food.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
It does.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, me. I'm going to go with. Okay. So this is. Make me hit you. So this is. I really like big city at night lit up.
Oh,
So what I
Neon lights.
think of mostly, I've been to Chicago quite a bit, and like if you're in, let's say, in a high-rise apartment and you're looking down, like to downtown and the lights, or if you're driving in a car and you see the skyline lit up, we've all seen that on movies and stuff like that. I know it's all congested and it's all crazy in there, but as a visual from when you're outside of it, it knocks me over. I just love it. I love
pretty.
that sparkly lights on big buildings and it's all dark around and yeah, So I would say my most vivid of those are Chicago, but New York, I mean, any city, even Albuquerque has it a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
has it,
If
it
you're
has it a
downtown.
little bit. Yeah.
Just enough.
Enough that you go, oh, yeah, yeah. Anyway,
With our-
that's mine.
With our like
Wait, wait.
5 tall buildings.
Did you say a specific location?
Wells
I don't know if I
Fargo.
missed it.
I said
Just any
either.
big city.
Oh, well, I did say Chicago more. I guess I'm visioning one where I was in someone's apartment that was in the middle of it. And so you're looking down, like one of the big downtown streets,
Yeah.
and it's all lit up. And then I also like when you're on Lakeshore Drive and you get the whole skyline lit up at night. I love that. I
That's
love
cool.
that. Yeah,
Lakeshore Drive.
that's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's called Lakeshore
That's
Drive.
right. You're from Chicago.
Yeah, it's the dry, it's kind of a highway-ish, but right along the lake, right along the lake. Yours?
My number 3 is DC.
Oh.
So I went to DC and Virginia for this past Christmas to spend some time with my uncle and my cousin who live over there. And I think the only reason it's not higher up, it's not our fault, but because I went still in the midst of the pandemic, the Smithsonian was closed. And that was the thing I wanted to do. You know, it was like, I want to go to the Smithsonian so bad, but it was closed, so that's the only reason it's my number 3.
Yeah.
But we got to go during Christmas time, so we got to see the White House trees.
Oh,
Yeah,
Decorate
like
the
What?
trees for Christmas.
there's like a big tree
White
at
House?
the
Oh, DC.
the White House, and then they have a little tree for each state,
Oh.
and they're all
okay.
decorated by like.
It's a lot
I don't
of
think the
trees.
big tree is, but all the little trees are decorated by like a school in that state somewhere.
Nice.
And so they're decorated by like elementary school kids.
That's cute.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was
No,
pretty
it's a-
fun. And then we got to see we got to see like 4 or 5 trees. Like we drove out there and we got to see them all and visit like the Lincoln Memorial and those kinds.
Wow.
Were
Yeah,
those
there's
all
a lot
open
to-
because they're outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot to do in DC. I always forget about.
Yeah, but we went up for the night, so we didn't do like too much, but we were able to like drive around and see like all the monuments and then we found this like really cute little diner that was open like 24 hours. Just kind of like out of the way and like very small, but it was good food.
Nice.
I don't know what it's called. I don't remember.
But
My concern
good.
was eat food.
Yep.
You know?
As long as it was
yeah,
good.
but like the classic diner menu: pancakes, chicken fried steak.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
Did you know, oh, you probably knew this, though, that the Smithsonian, all the Smithsonian museums are free.
I
There's
didn't
no-
know that.
What?
They are?
Really?
Yep.
Is that new?
No, they've always been free. It's part of
Really?
the.
Well, now
yeah.
I want to go back.
Yeah.
Free?
And
a
actually
little
go this
upset.
time.
I know.
Free.
Free.
Wow.
Pass on
we
history.
sound
Sean,
Like
maybe we
TurboTax
can
on
go out that way and then we can go see an ocean. If you're not able to go this time,
Yeah.
we'll fly out just to see the ocean and go to the
Okay,
Smithsonian.
I've driven over. I mean, not driven over. Flew over, like seen it, but like not
Oh, yeah.
been there in person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta put your
different.
foot in it. Yeah.
I'm gonna
We'll
put a
get
pin
there.
in it for now.
Flying
You'll get
over it
there.
is weird though, because like you look around and it's just
Nothing.
water.
Nothing.
Ugh, that's kind of scary.
You're number 2.
My number two, New York City. New York, New York. That's where I was born.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
know that?
I was born in Brooklyn, technically.
Oh,
So I guess,
where in Brooklyn?
I don't know.
Seems
Somewhere,
like a Bushwick kid.
somewhere in Brooklyn. No, goodness. But yeah, no, I was born in New York. So all my dad's side of the family all lives in New York. So we go over there every other summer, and we mull around, and we go to the beach a lot. We go to Jones Beach. So we play in the ocean and get sand everywhere and salt. Ugh.
Salt and sand.
Salt and sand and seaweed. But it's a fun time, and we walk around the city and like those tall buildings and that skyline.
Right?
That's really pretty.
It's great.
That is really pretty. But being in New York, it is really humid,
Yeah.
and my skin glows. It is fantastic. I love New York for that.
Yeah.
But it's really pricey, so I can't actually live there
Yeah.
so that my skin always glows. But when I
Have to
visit,
find another solution, right? Right.
gonna have to go somewhere else. God. but it is really hot. Like
In summer, oh my
in
gosh.
summer,
yeah.
and then they get a lot of snow in winter.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
it's like
What?
my cousin will send me pictures, and it's like
Yeah.
Snow.
Yeah.
a few feet.
So like you can't go anywhere, right? Because it's just like all road.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, no, you can walk. Cause, yeah.
Huh.
And New York is really on it about the salting the roads and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true.
Yeah.
Because like New Mexico, we had
We're a little
the
lacking.
we're lacking on that.
Well, because it'll melt so soon that we half bother, half don't, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like when it is important, they're not on top of it.
Do you?
Right.
I live in the mountains and we get
yeah.
snow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it
understood.
I used to drive to 0 hour for band.
Yeah.
And I think the number of times I would just have to email my
No.
band director, I'll get there when I get there. And I would drive 5 miles an hour down the road because everything is icy and maybe
So
there's salt,
stressful.
but maybe there's not. And maybe
Yeah.
on my way down, the salt truck passes me and then sprays me with salt and then my car's red even though it's white. And now I can't see anything because my windshield's dirty, but my
Yeah.
window washer is frozen because it's so cold and
Wow.
you know?
Yeah, you know snow, you know snow.
know
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That was a nightmare in one sentence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Gosh, it was scary. I remember in this winter when it snowed a lot and everything froze and we didn't have any salt because I guess we sand the roads.
Right.
Because we usually don't get enough temperature for it to be worth buying all that salt.
I didn't know.
Yeah, but so we have a lack of salt in New Mexico for roads, and so we had to order some, but it didn't come for a day or so. So for a while, just the roads were all icy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I
Oh.
drove in that.
I was stuck here actually. I was stuck at Explora, and I had to drive home, and I was slipping and sliding on the
Oh, I
highway.
think I do remember that day.
I do,
yeah.
I remember
yeah.
that. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
it got bad, but
Well,
When
I feel
did you move here?
I
Oh,
say this
sorry.
nicely, but I feel like Albuquerque drivers can't really handle a lot of snow because they
No.
don't get
They don't
snow.
get
One
it.
snowflake.
Yeah.
And
They
okay,
can't.
I was
It rains and they panic.
they
I was
drive fast.
I was really good. I drove well. I'm saying.
Same.
But it's, yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. Most of them
Yeah.
going.
They see a raindrop or a small piece of snow and they're
Game
out.
over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Game over.
Right.
And they don't know how to go slow on ice. It's I think it's a normal road.
Even on rain.
Well, and then they'll slam
that
on their
too.
brakes and it's icy and they don't understand that slamming on your brakes is just going to
Still-
lock your brakes.
still
Don't
slides.
do that.
So stressful.
Do not do that.
Fishtailing
I
all the
can't
way down
stand it.
Lomas.
I can't
Yeah.
stand it.
Yeah.
I've seen that. It
I
was
went down
scary.
I-40
Me too.
because I was like, oh, it'll probably be fine.
Oh yeah.
And then I got on, and then
You can't even see the road lines.
yeah,
So
no,
everyone's
no,
everywhere.
yeah, people were just making road lines.
Yeah.
Like,
Whoa. Just follow the person in front of
Everyone
you.
had an agreement that they would stay in the line. like,
That's what you do in the mountains too when they haven't salted
Yeah.
the roads yet. Whoever goes down first makes one set of tracks and everybody glues themselves to those tracks. And usually, more often than not, one set is halfway into the pull-out lane on the side,
Yeah.
and the other one is halfway in the road. But it'd be what it be.
Yeah.
And everybody agrees to it. They're just like, well, it's already here.
yeah.
The unspoken social contract.
Yeah.
Follow the tire
Exactly.
track.
I remember when that happened by UNM, the bus was slid sideways, and so it was stuck and it was only to one lane. It slid, and it was
Yikes.
crazy. None of the buses were working.
You're driving a bus in snow. That sounds.
Yikes.
No.
Yeah.
I would be so scared.
Driving next to a truck or a bus.
Oh, it's
I
Scary.
get really
Oh, that
scared
was
to
scary.
drive next to
Semis.
semis or anything like that when it rains.
Yeah.
That was terrifying.
Because I feel like they're kind of in the same boat of they have a harder time controlling
Yeah.
when it's something other than ideal weather.
Yeah.
That's actually why there was so much traffic on I-40 because there was two semis that were just sideways on the road and they couldn't do anything because
Checks out.
their tires were moving and they were stuck.
Right.
It was bad, but
Jeez.
point is New York knows how to deal with snow.
Right. New York. That's what we get here.
Wow. Wow, that was a side trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your number 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
My number 2 is California, Disneyland specifically.
Oh.
I went there in Anaheim. It was pretty cool. I was only there for 3 days or so, but man, Disneyland is expensive.
Yeah.
It's $100 each, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've
it's
never been
crazy.
to
It was
Disney.
crazy.
Me neither.
Once.
Never been
Never
to
been?
Disney or Orlando.
I've never
or
been to
all
any of the like
all that stuff.
the theme parks, so
Whoa,
like
wow.
Universal or any of that. Never been.
I've only been
I
to
feel like you
Disneyland.
would have gone to like
I want to go to
Yeah,
Universal
yeah.
so bad
You
for
have
Harry
univer-
Potter
yeah,
World.
exactly.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm surprised by that.
All I want is butterbeer. I want to go and I want to get the wand and you know.
I feel like you could make
Okay.
butterbeer at home, and
Yeah,
it
you
was like it's
definitely
pretty
can.
Well, okay, so
comparable.
they've copyrighted their
formula?
formula so that you can't replicate it, and there are some like replica
Of course.
recipes, but like I don't know what the actual drink tastes like, so I can't say how good it
fair.
is. You know, like when I
Right,
drink it,
that's fair.
I'm like, yeah, this is great, but like,
But
Is it
compared to
real?
what?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like
That's fair.
Yeah.
I got no
That's
comparison there.
What's the drink?
fair. Butterbeer.
What's that?
It's from Harry Potter.
Which one?
All of it kind of goes
It's-
through.
It's just a drink they drink. It's
Yeah,
like
so
it's like
in the
root beer,
first
ice cream
book
kind of
and
thing.
in the movie, they go to the little city outside of Hogwarts, right? And they go and there's like a candy shop and everything. There's a bar, like a tavern, and they get butterbeer, which is kind of like the equivalent of like hot chocolate. Is probably like the best way to explain it. It doesn't taste like hot chocolate.
I,
but,
I
like,
would think more like
would
a
be
root
like-
beer float kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
kind of. But like, I feel like as far as like Muggle construct is concerned, it would be like our equivalent of hot chocolate. You know?
Muggles.
She really hit us with the
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess so.
flex.
I think it was your number 2.
My number 2, also New York.
New
Also
York.
a city in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York, fantastic. Because my dad also lives there, and my dad's side of the family is all in New York. So
Right.
Aren't you related?
No, probably not.
no, yeah. There's always a chance. Though.
There's always a chance.
But I was
really?
there 2 weeks ago now. So hot.
Yeah.
So sweaty.
Whew.
And you're always like, it's gonna be fine once I get like down and into the subway.
No.
And then it's just like a pit of breath and hot, watery air.
Really gross.
So you're explaining to me like gym locker room, and I'm not a fan.
yeah.
Yeah, gym
Oh,
locker
yeah.
room, but
You're
like with
giving
every
gym locker
shower turned on with like hot water, so like the steam and the smell is
Yeah.
filling this like underground
The garbage.
the garbage.
There's garbage.
But yeah, it's great. I love the city.
Yeah, that's really intense to be your second favorite.
No, I also like really like New York. I think if I were to move anywhere that wasn't Albuquerque, it'd probably be New York City, but it's so expensive. It's so expensive. But I know enough people there where I think if I like,
Sublet.
yeah, I feel like I could like
Yeah.
find a cheap room, a closet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Under
basically what like a
staircase.
Yeah,
one
live
bedroom
under somebody's stairwell.
Yeah, like Harry Potter.
Again, Harry Potter.
It's kind of it's a trend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to think of like one specific place in New York, but I can't think of one. So just
You ever been to Coney Island?
never been to Coney Island.
Coney Island's pretty cool.
But one of the places I really want to go in New York is, have you heard of Storm King?
Storm King? No.
It's like a little bit past Cold Spring. And it's like this giant like outdoor museum. So it's like big art structures and it's like just open field. And it seems really cool and I really want to
That's
go.
cool.
So on my list.
Okay. My number 2 is not a place, but a feeling.
Ooh, oh.
No, okay, one of my favorite things, and the one I remember most was when I was pretty young. And again, because I grew up in a city, you don't see stars very much, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You see a little and you think, oh, I mean, you do see a star. But the first time I was ever outside of a city and outside by somewhere, and I actually think it might have been by the ocean, but you looked up at night and the whole sky was filled with stars, which now I have been lucky enough to have that many times. But that first time I saw the Milky Way, I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand. I mean, I understood the concept, and I guess you see pictures in the Night Kitchen and all those books.
Yeah.
But when you see it, and you go, oh, that's what they're talking about. So I have to say that wherever you are on the earth that you can do that to me is,
That's really
I'd go anywhere to do that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
get really depressed if I can't see stars. Like,
Because you live in the mountains and you can see them.
yeah, and
every night.
I like to stargaze, and I'm not the most familiar with like constellations and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'll go out and I'll like look at the constellations that like I'll go outside and I'm like, okay, which constellation should I be looking for? And so I'm getting like more familiar with that. And then I'm really interested in like the idea that we can like see planets. So like when the
Yeah.
planets are all aligned, I can actually go outside and I'm like, that one's Jupiter and that one's
Wow,
Mars.
yeah.
Because like I'm so
Yeah.
excited about
Yeah.
it. And like
Yeah.
even in Socorro, just because, you know, there's not a
There's
lot of
not-
lights.
Yeah.
I get to go
Low
out
light
on
pollution.
our field, which used to be right outside of my dorm, and I could just like lay outside and like look at the
Yeah,
stars.
yeah.
Because that's what I like
Yeah.
to do.
Me
And so
too, me
like
too.
I'm jealous.
going to the big cities and like different places like that is really cool. But I get really depressed if I can't see
Yeah.
the
I'm with you.
stars.
I'm with you, or the moon, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I know usually you can see the moon where you are, but no, I agree with that. And so it's so cool to me, and I like identifying a little as well, but it's kind of separate to me than just going out and doing like that. So yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
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 I bought myself a stargazing book, so like I can start identifying some
Yeah.
of the constellations. And it makes me sad. There's not all of them in there, but like it's a good start.
Yeah.
And I bought a $20 stargazing laser. So you know those like laser pointers that they
Yeah,
they
those are
it
wild.
shoots to the atmosphere. It's so cool.
Wild.
And like you
Yeah.
points all the way up.
the green one.
Yeah.
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 You got to be
great.
careful though if you're around planes, because
Oh,
they'll
right.
find you.
Right. Yeah. So you got to
Yeah.
be,
No, but
yeah.
no. So
Clarissa?
My number 2 is Virginia. It's part of the Christmas trip, but we were in 2 different areas. And so I flew into Richmond, and we got to do a lot of cool stuff that I had never done before. We did plan to go to the beach, but you know, I went in Christmas, so it was like really cold. And they were like, "Are you sure that you want to like go to the beach?" And like,
Why not? Yeah.
because like you're gonna like freeze. And I was like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully I'll get to go again in like the summer and see the Smithsonian and go to the beach.
one day I'll see the ocean.
Yeah.
I want to go to a beach. I want to go to an ocean.
Honestly, it's worth it.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool and
Yeah.
really fun.
No,
But-
you will. You will.
But I had a lot of fun with that. We got to do all of the like the holiday things, you know, like drive around and see all the Christmas lights. And somebody over there actually makes a list of all of the houses that are decorated the best or like the most decorated in each city. So somebody like drives around all of like Virginia to do that.
Whoa.
And so we went to a couple of like neighboring cities to like drive around and look at all the lights. And some of them were like really cool.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Way more lights than
Yeah.
we have here,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
We're up in Madrid.
Yeah, but the luminarias here are the hit. You know,
Yeah.
and
That's
so,
true.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
people. I mean, I
That's
think
true.
that's what we've
Yeah.
featured on. Is
I think
that,
the most comparable house, if you ever go like to like drive and look at Christmas lights, there's a house that's right next to, I think it's called the Tony Hillerman Library. It's on Wyoming.
Yes.
There's a house like right kind of next to them, and they have their entire house decorated. They like have a bunch of big trees in their yard. All of those are decorated. Their entire lawn is decorated, and then they have a balcony on their house, and they have one of the guys dressed up as like Santa Claus, and they have a little bonfire, and they make hot chocolate and everything. Like that's probably the most comparable
yeah,
house
yeah,
here
yeah.
to what's over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And even then, like if I compared the house here to like over there, I'd be like, man, that's kind of small though.
Yeah.
You know, like here it's
Yeah.
really big, and
Yeah.
I do think it's really cool, but like
Yeah.
over there it's just so much more.
Because that's like
Yeah.
the
Dramatic.
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's a house in Cornwall that plays music on a radio station, and their lights on their house are LED synced, and they make pictures and all sorts of stuff all over their yard
Yeah.
That's cool.
with
With
the
like a
radio
little
songs.
projector thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like that is also kind of comparable to what was over there, but
sweet.
we got to do all sorts of really cool things.
Sounds like a good
Visit
trip.
museums
say.
and
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good trip.
Not bad.
Number 1?
Number one.
one. For all the marbles.
My number 1 is out of country. I went to Poland
Wow.
for my 8th grade year.
What?
Great.
Yeah, we had a
Some teacher or somebody took 8th grade students to Poland.
yeah. My school did. We called it the big trip, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and we had like little.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to the Montessori Middle School, or the Montessori Elementary / Middle School. But we had little trips throughout the year of like the end of 6th and 7th grade, and we went to places in New Mexico, all building up to when we would go to Poland in 8th grade. So
Literally what?
Yeah. Did you have pierogies?
The
prob-
potato.
Oh,
Potato
yeah.
rolled
dumpling.
potato. Yeah.
Yeah, those were good.
So good.
There's
How
a lot
long?
of
I
those.
mean, how many people went?
So it was the whole class, which would have been like 30,
What?
and it was for 2 weeks.
What?
What?
Wow.
Okay,
Did the
not to
school
say
pay
this in
for
the
it?
way
Did the
I'm
fa-
about to say this, but how much did you pay for that? Because our school,
Yeah.
my high school
It-
tried to take us all to on like a Europe tour.
Yeah.
So we were going to go to Italy and France and all sorts of stuff. They wanted me to pay like $5,000, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, no, we had to sell
Lot of
chocolates and
fundraising.
fundraise
Yeah.
World's finest
through-
chocolates.
for like 3
Oh my
years,
gosh.
right?
Right.
And I think it totaled 3,000-ish,
Wow.
something
Each
for
kid.
each kid. Yeah,
But they make sure that everybody can go.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
That's
try and
awesome.
See, our high school was just like, I don't know, figure it out.
If you can make
Yeah.
it, you can make it. If not, bye.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Wow.
But-
And was it great?
it was pretty good. And I think that 3,000 included some like 500 for
Spending.
Like
spending
money.
money.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we went to Poland for 2 weeks. We checked out the like salt caves and stuff, and that was pretty crazy. And we went to amusement parks and all this crazy stuff. We went to a bunch of castles.
Oh,
Castles
yeah,
are
big
cool there.
there, yeah,
They're big.
right.
And we boated. That was cool.
Boated.
Yeah, we went on a boat. But then it was also a school trip, right? So throughout the year, we learned about like Auschwitz and all that stuff, and so we went and saw
Wow.
concentration camps and stuff, and that was pretty crazy. And for the first week, actually, we stayed we have like a sister school there, I guess.
Oh.
So we stayed in people's houses.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So,
So
we,
you kind of had like a host family.
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
like a
Wow.
host family kind of thing. That was fun for like the first week, and then second week we all gathered in a hotel and we stayed there. But yeah, it was pretty wild.
I'm sufficiently jealous.
What's
Yeah,
really
that's
cool?
Yeah.
What's really cool is that $5 here is like $20 there.
Oh.
So like I had a lot of money.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would go to like markets and stuff, and
Wow.
they're in Krakow. They have these dragons. They're like they're kind of like Squishmallows here, but like they're really cool, and I love them. I wish I had bought more. I was pretty stingy with my money
Right.
because I liked saving money, but yeah,
You're essentially $2,000.
I know.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money. And what was the best part was that the other kids didn't really process how much money that was. So I would be like, "Can you just give me like a 20 or something?" And they would just give me money. And
Even on the trip, he's scamming kids.
He's scamming someone.
I definitely did scam some of my classmates. But you know, I left when I got back to America, I had like 50 extra bucks, plus all of my Polish money. I had all that Polish money for a while because there's not a ton of places that will transfer that.
Heard it, yeah.
Right.
So I had to go to the mall and someplace, and
Right.
like 2 years later.
Jeez.
Superbank or something. Yeah.
Wild.
Wow. Great.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
Jealous.
pretty awesome.
Well, mine's not that cool.
They're all good.
Come on.
They're all good.
That's awesome. No, I went to Utah. Yeah. That was
Ooh.
not so far, but it was pretty cool. The museums there were awesome. Holy cow.
Yeah.
The museum, there was this like, there was like this dinosaur one. It was kind of small, but it was really cool. They had the architecture, I don't know, it was just like undescribable. It was just like, it was really cool. And then this aquarium, it was a giant aquarium, like huge, bigger than our like zoo and aquarium combined here. It was massive. It took hours just to get through it. And then, yeah, that was just awesome experience. I was able to like see like, it was really hilly. It kind of looked like Colorado a bit.
It does.
It kinda looks like that.
does, Yeah.
And so I love like Colorado, Utah, but I don't know, Utah was pretty awesome. And they had like a giant lake or something. I forgot what
They
it's
do-
called.
yeah.
Salt Lake, was it?
Salt Lake.
Yeah, was it, were you in Salt Lake? Yeah.
I was in Salt Lake.
Yeah, it's big.
I think I don't remember the exact name. We were like driving
Lake City.
around.
Yeah.
Do you see any of the, I mean, they have a lot of pink rock, red rocks there too.
I didn't.
Yeah,
yeah, I've
We
seen
were in like
that,
a
yeah.
suburb area.
Zion and Bryce
Yeah,
Canyon.
I forgot
beautiful.
Zion's in.
No.
You might have driven through it together, no.
Oh, we saw the hole in the rock.
Yeah, yeah.
The hole in the
I
rock.
think
That was
that's at
awesome.
Zion?
I think that's in one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
We didn't get to do arches because it was just so like
Right,
Yeah,
those
I'm
are
sure.
all
Popular.
right,
I'm
right, so popular, yeah.
the line was like, holy
Yeah.
cow. Oh, we saw Dead Horse Creek, Dead Horse Canyon.
Dead Horse Dam or
Dead Horse
Canyon,
something. Yeah, you know what I mean. That was awesome. That was like a very miniature Grand Canyon. It was like
Yeah, no,
huge
it's
though.
beautiful, yeah.
It was huge.
Thought you were gonna be like, we saw a dead horse.
No.
I the story about it is crazy size.
I was like, where are you going with this, John?
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Now, seeing other places' architecture is really cool,
Yeah.
especially because we
Yes.
just have all this adobe and it's
Yeah.
all bland and gross.
Well, people
But not when you come in, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
That's
'cause
what people
it's all they're
say.
used to.
We're used to it.
Yeah,
we
we're
want
used to it.
new
I
stuff.
guess so, but
Yeah.
It's like
Same.
everybody hears like your scenery is so beautiful, and
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, it's dirt.
it's so
I don't know what
brown.
you're talking
But
about.
it's pretty dirt.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
dirt and some like shrubs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, like a tumbleweed.
It's all relative. Oh, I love it.
It's almost green.
Tumbleweeds are so
Tumbleweeds.
big.
Well, I was gonna say, do you know people will like come here and like pick up tumbleweeds, put them in their car, and then sell them online on like Etsy for
I
like
don't
20
doubt-
bucks, and
What?
people will buy them.
That's
Because
really
you can't
weird.
get right. I actually am
weird.
one of those people. When I moved from here to Arizona, there was a really great one that I had kept in my garage, and I
What?
moved it. I moved it. I moved the tumbleweed,
You
but it was my
moved
tumbleweed.
with the tumbleweed.
I
Okay,
moved
but-
with the tumbleweed.
This is just me not understanding, but
What are you going to say? Aren't there tumbleweeds in Arizona?
why was the tumbleweed?
It's
It's
gorgeous.
the tumbleweed.
Why would you want a tumbleweed?
I was trying to find a way, a nice way to say that. Like I don't understand.
It's
If
full
you
of
grab the
stickers and like.
Well, I wasn't going to wear it, but I, you know.
What are you gonna? You look at it like, oh,
Yeah.
like a
Decor?
I
fixture.
love that tumbleweed. I love that tumbleweed.
Do you still have it?
No, it finally started to dry out too much that we had to.
You should have
get rid
sold
of
it.
Shoot, I didn't think of that.
I know you can. Movie studios gather a lot for like westerns and all that,
Yeah.
and but like,
Same
Yeah.
with like old, if you have like old Coke bottles.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
old
yeah.
boxes of old clothes.
but if you're not gonna do it for a movie or a shoot, then why?
Well, people have they have art on the walls. They put plants in the ground.
I understand
What's the
that, but
difference?
That's
What you might not know about Dorota is she also is very fond of dead, dry leaves. And I feel like a tumbleweed kind of fits in that
I think
vein.
you're probably
I
right.
just
Okay.
put that together.
I did
that
too.
makes
I
sense.
actually didn't.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah.
okay. So your aesthetic is the dried kind
they
of
are
dead plants.
incredible. They are an
The
incredible structure.
gross brown.
It is true.
They
Dead.
are.
Pretty brown.
The like crunchy, yeah.
I'm not going to win this one. I can tell.
have to vacuum
But
all
I'm
the
just
time.
saying, I'm just saying they are incredible. Like a dome. Come on.
It's not. I'm on your side.
All right, thank you, Sheldon.
And with that, I'll do my number one.
Okay.
I said Jamaica.
Whoa.
In the Caribbean, that's where also
Ooh.
more of my family's from.
I'm gonna
So
miss it.
I've been there. The cone. I totally forgot. I totally forgot about the water. The cone. So I've been there a lot. It's like a pretty small island. I still feel like there's like a lot of it I haven't seen, but there's one spot in particular. I said the Holland Bamboo Forest, and it's like there's just like one road and like these long stalks of bamboo that kind of like grow together at the top, and so like driving through a tunnel essentially of bamboo.
That sounds gorgeous.
from that
Yeah.
Also, like really, like a very picturesque.
Yeah, but exactly. And you
Yeah.
can just like see at the end of it. And it's like a lot of roads like that. There's like very narrow roads and it's like really dark and like dense like jungle almost at the sides, like especially when you're inland, so not the coast, but like in the island. And
Yeah.
I've had some like scary, like what is going on? But just fantastic. I love it and I can't wait to go back. I haven't been obviously in like the past few years because of
Wow.
pandemic.
And your family there?
Yeah, I have family inland and like at the coast too, so in Kingston and also in Silo, St. Elizabeth, and Appleton, where the rum is made.
Yeah.
Appleton Estates.
It's a funny name for Jamaica. Appleton, isn't it?
Appleton. It's you can get the rum though. Wow. I'll give you some. It's good.
Okay. Yeah.
I think my parents honeymooned there.
Oh.
I feel like I've had a conversation with your dad about that actually.
Yeah.
That sounds like a memory
It sounds like
because he has family in Haiti.
Yeah. Yeah. He's from Haiti.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at his last name. Right?
Dominique.
Dominique.
French.
Yeah,
Dominicois or
French,
whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so me?
You.
So keeping in mind places outside, so now it's a while ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, but Trisha, from Explore and I took a trip, and Trisha travels a lot, and so she finds all these incredible things on all these whatever different websites. Anyway, I had a passport, and I was really ticked off that it was going to expire before I got to use it.
So you
I was
bought
so
a
mad.
fake passport.
Yeah. So you went right. Anyway, so she found one that went to London for a really great price, so it was great. But the best thing about it was that it was on Icelandic Air, so we stopped for a day in Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I was beyond it. And so I was happy to go to London, and it was fun, a lot of fun. But I was out of my mind that I was going to Iceland.
you go
And
to
I would go
Reykjavik?
back there. I would go, you actually land outside of Reykjavik in this other, it's called Keflavik, I think. And then we had like 8 hours there, so we took a bus into Reykjavik,
Yeah.
and all we did, we just walked around. I mean, it was fine. It was a nice little town, and it was, it was great. But I was just like, oh my God, I'm in Iceland. I was like
So
so
cool.
excited.
That's so
now,
cool.
it was really cool, and I would absolutely go back. And you can get flights there for really reasonable. I can get a flight there for what I just paid to have to go to Chicago. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's maybe not. I mean, because a pandemic has really switched stuff. But Iceland was trying to get tourism there, and so they made lots of deals to get direct flights and to get things.
Wow.
And anyway, so it was great, and I'm just very happy I got to go.
And it's green, right?
Yeah, Iceland's the
Iceland is
opposite.
green.
Yeah.
It's exactly. It's the
I always
opposite, and
forget
it's
that.
not that cold.
Greenland is Iceland.
It's not that cold. It actually, I mean, it did. We went in January, and it did end up snowing, but they're not. They're much more temperate climate
Yeah.
than many other places. They're not that cold. So anyway, yeah,
That's nice.
that was mine.
Wow. Awesome.
Mine feels very underwhelming
No,
because everybody
I
else
did
said
that.
it.
It already-
But Chicago.
Chicago's a good one.
Yeah.
Chicago's a great city.
So I
been there.
went 3 years ago, and when I went, it was the first time I had ever been on a plane.
Oh, fun.
Because my family, anywhere we go, we drive.
Yeah.
My parents don't like planes.
With good
It's
reason.
scary.
And we
Good reason.
got to do all sorts of stuff that I don't think I ever would have been able to do otherwise. So we got to go to the Shed Aquarium, which was really
Yeah.
cool. Although when we went to the shed, it was pouring so bad that morning that all of us had a raincoat and an umbrella both because they were
What?
like, this is required on your packing list just in case. And it was so just wet. Like, I know it's humid there. Okay, I understand. But it was so wet. My hair was just floofy the entire time. It's fine. But it was so wet when it was raining that I was wet underneath my raincoat
Yeah.
because it came through my raincoat and the umbrella didn't do anything. And we walked in and we were just dripping puddles onto the Shed Aquarium floor. And they were all
It's an
like,
aquarium.
you know,
Yeah.
but we were just dripping things everywhere and it wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
And then we went in and we got to see I think it might have been sea lions, but I can't really remember. But we got to see one of their little shows,
Yeah.
and they had just had a baby, whatever it was. So they introduced everybody to the little baby, and we got to walk around everywhere. And then
And it's a pretty spot where it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're out on this little.
Yeah.
You're right
But-
downtown, but you feel like you're somewhere else. It's so pretty.
well, we got to do all sorts of really cool things. So we went to a Cubs game, and the entire time we were there. So I think we were there for 3 or 4 days. I can't remember very well. It was a pretty long trip.
Yeah.
But we went on a boat ride across Michigan Lake and then
Oh, I love
back.
that.
And
Boats
that was
are
the first
cool.
time I'd ever been on a boat.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And I got, me and my photography self, I have some really, really great pictures because when we were going, it was right at sunset.
Oh.
So I have some with the sun just right
Golden
behind
hour.
the skyline
Yeah.
off the lake.
Oh, that's awesome.
So those are some of my favorite pictures that
Yeah.
I've ever taken for sure.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Chicago now.
And they tried to make sure that we had what they considered to be authentic food. So, deep dish pizza
Oh, yeah.
and a whole bunch of different things like that. And then we went to I don't know, maybe a hot dog restaurant or something. I can't remember very
Oh, the
explicitly.
Chicago style.
But
with
they
the-
were
yeah.
The stuff. Yeah.
when we walked in, everybody warned us. They were like, if you put ketchup on your hot dog, no, you don't.
Yeah.
But
Why not?
It's just frowned.
I don't know. You
It's
just
like
don't
onions,
do it.
relish, and mustard, and that's it. No ketchup.
Yeah,
Relish
so
and
I didn't have
mustard,
anything because
All I do is
I
ketchup.
ketchup, and
I like ketchup.
I don't like onions,
gross.
and I don't
So
like
good.
relish,
You don't like.
and I don't like mustard.
Okay.
So
There you go.
All right.
Oh,
yeah, we
just
had
need
a
a plain
conversation
hot
about
dog.
You hate all
this before, but-
condiments.
I was going to say I
forgot.
have a
Yeah.
Plain hot dog.
question open to the whole table, but did you like deep dish pizza?
It was interesting. I don't know that I would say it was my favorite food, but it was definitely something that I ate, and I was like, I could eat that again.
Okay.
But it's not something that I would like travel to Chicago just
to
for
have.
that. You know, like
Yeah.
that wasn't like
Yeah.
like it was good, but it wasn't like a staple that I would be like, I will die if I don't
Yeah.
have this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have any of you had?
I've had deep dish pizza at, I think it was California Pizza Kitchen.
I don't think that counts.
Yeah,
I mean it does,
okay.
but it doesn't.
But like,
Oh, wait, isn't Pizza 9 kind of deep dishes?
It's Chicago style, but
Yeah.
not deep dish.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
no, but it was deep dish, and it was I thought it was pretty good. It does look small when you get it though.
Yeah.
But then
It's
you
so
know,
hard
It, just,
to
it
kinda
felt
makes
very saucy.
Lasagna-y.
Like
yeah, it's
It was
very
like-
lasagna.
yeah.
yeah.
I was
That's a good way to
Because I
explain
also,
it.
I
Yeah.
also had in Chicago, and I was like, I don't.
Yeah, we had it like so we walked
like
everywhere
lasagna,
that we went
so.
for the most part in Chicago, and we took the I don't remember what it's called, but
L.
like the train.
L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
L?
And so if we couldn't walk
Elevated,
there,
it's
we would
because
take
it's
it.
above
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
like above the city. Kind of cool.
Well,
So if we couldn't walk there, we would take that. But otherwise, we walked everywhere, and we got to go see like an art museum and
Maybe the art
Oh
museum.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
but the SAIC.
yeah,
I'm going, it's a big one. Right?
it was a very very
Yeah,
big one.
that's
yes.
the Art Institute. It's huge.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
because the school's there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then
Yes.
you know
There's
the bean,
The
Bean,
bean.
of course.
Oh, the bean.
the bean.
Right. Yeah.
Although what I did think was really interesting, I couldn't tell you where it was. If I ever went back to Chicago, I couldn't tell you how to get there. I don't know. But we passed through this park that had all of these like statues of like giant stick figure people.
It's the same part. It's all Grant Park goes all through downtown.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of stuff in
It was
there.
really cool.
Music and everything like
I didn't
that.
go to the park.
Yeah,
You
we
well,
were
if you
like
went to the Bean, you did.
I don't.
we
So
had
that's a
a-
scope. Yeah. So
we
I
had
think
a
it's
pretty nice hotel right off of like downtown.
downtown. Yeah. So you were in Grant Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we got to go like
It's
everywhere
cool.
like that, and then it's not all that special or anything, but I really liked the like Gothic architecture, and so
Yeah.
we like walked by the Goth Target.
Yes.
It's
Oh
just
my
a normal
God.
Target, but it's in a Goth
Downtown.
building,
It's
and it's so
not
cool.
a normal Target. That place is amazing.
Is it? Okay, I don't know.
It looks really pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it looks
no,
really
makes
pretty.
sense.
It's a normal Target in a pretty building.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
That's-
that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah,
That's
that
a-
makes
that's a-
sense.
that's a
Yeah.
good way to
It's
put it.
like everybody who goes to the Goth Target is just like, oh my god, is it going to be Gothic? No,
It's Target.
It's just in a very pretty Gothic building.
Right. It's downtown.
look it
That
up.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
I think
That's
That,
it.
That's
All right.
it. We
That's
said.
all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Intern Top 5, and be sure to put your top 5 list in the comments below. We check out our social medias at XStudioNM and ExploraNM at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. What's the other one? TikTok, Spotify. Do we have a Spotify? I actually don't
We
have
do
a
have a
Spotify.
Spotify.
We do have a Spotify. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, be sure to comment and subscribe.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.